Hey crafters, welcome back to another Crafty Creations video with Kalisha. Hey crafters, so today we're going to be doing something a little different than making a wreath. So I made a wreath, a Grinch themed wreath for my cousin last year. And this year she has decided to do all things Grinch. So she asked me if I could make her some bows for her Christmas tree. So these are the 7 ribbons that I am going to be using. And then somewhere down the line, I'd add an 8th ribbon to the bunch. Okay, let's get started on making our first bow. So first you're going to take your ribbon and you're going to cut it to 16 inches. And you're going to do that with all 7 of your ribbons. Once you've cut all your ribbon, then we can get started on making our first bow. To make your bow, all you're going to do is take some hot glue and place it on the end of one side of your ribbon. Then fold the other end over to that, holding it down until it becomes dry or tacky enough to stay together. You will also need floral wire. I am using 26 gauge silver floral wire that I got from Michael's. You can use whatever you want to use. I just cut some strips so that I can use that to tie my bow together, and it will be used to tie it to the Christmas tree. Now that your wire is cut, let's form our bow. So to form your bow, just press it down and find the center. And you're just going to bundle it together or scrunch it together from one end to the other end until you form a bow tie. To cover the wire in the middle of my bows, I have decided to use some red bead fillers or vase fillers that I got from the Dollar Tree. I cut them in half and then I placed one half in the center of my bow. To get started on our next bow, you're going to take your ribbon and you're going to cut it at 32 inches. Once you have cut all your ribbon to 32 inches, then we can get started on dovetailing our ends and making our second bow. Once you've dovetailed your ribbon, or you don't have to, totally up to you, then you're going to take your ribbon and we can get started on making our bow. For this bow, I am going to be using my bow maker. I have decided that I wanted my tails to be 6.5 inches long, and then my loops are going to be 5 inches. Once again, that's a 6.5 inch tail and a 5 inch loop. Now, once you pull your bow off of your bow maker, you will see that one side of your loop is upside down. All you have to do is take that and twist it around so that each side matches the other. I am going to use a zip tie to close this bow off because then I'm going to stick the floral wire through the back of that. I also cut an extra 4-inch piece off of the ribbon, and I folded it into 3, and then I'm going to wrap that around the center of the bow so that you don't see the zip tie. And to place that on there, I just glued it down in the middle. For the next one, you're going to need some Deco mesh. I am using the 6.5-inch by 5 yards, I believe, Deco mesh from the Dollar Tree. This one is in green and red with red lines throughout it. I cut my Deco mesh at 10 inches. I also cut white Deco mesh at 10 inches and red Deco mesh at 10 inches. You are going to need a total of 11 green, 6 red, and 4 white, all cut at 10 inches. You are also going to need some mesh tubing, and I am using the red, the light green, and the iridescent white one. And those I cut at 6 inches each. Now you're going to take your Deco mesh and you're going to make curls with it. I alternated between doing 2 green and 1 white, and then 2 red and 1 green. I also added my Deco mesh to the center of that, tied it off with a zip tie. And then to the center of each bundle, I added a present. I added red to the green and white bundles, and then I added a silver present to the red and green bundles. You should have a total of 7 bundles. That's 4 that are green and white and 3 that are red and green. For the next bow, I'm just going to cut my ribbon at 14 inches, and then I'm just taking 2 ribbons of any choosing that you like put together, and then I'm just going to crisscross them and see how they look apart from each other. If I like them, then that's what it was. And then I decided to dovetail my ends, and then I placed a Christmas ball or Christmas ornament in the center of it, and that was that ribbon. And for that, I only did 3, and then I did a big one that had 1 of each ribbon in it with 2 different Christmas balls in the middle. For the next bow, I have decided I wanted a 7-inch tail, and I'm going to do 4.5-inch loops, placing 2 ribbons on each bow. And like I said, each tail will be 7 inches and each loop will be 4.5 inches. For this bow, I ended up using floral wire to hold them together. I left enough to make sure that she had to add the bow to her Christmas tree, and then I dovetailed my ends. And this is also where I added that 8th ribbon in because I wanted a total of 4 bows that were doubled. For this next one, I am going to be doing a bow that has 3 different ribbons added to it. I'm doing the 2 white ones and a colored one. And then on the other one, I will be doing 2 colored and a white in the center. For this, I did 6.5-inch tails, and then I did 4.5-inch loops, just alternating my tails to end up in different places. To tie this ribbon off, I also decided to use a zip tie and add a Christmas bulb to the middle of it. And then I added floral wire to the back so that she would be able to tie it to her Christmas tree again. Okay, so I then wanted to give my cousin something that she would be able to store her bows on and would be able to use them again if she ever wanted to do this theme. So what I did was I cut up an Amazon box and then I covered it in glittered paper, and I waited for it to dry a little bit, and then I cut off the excess paper. Once you've cut off the excess paper, then this is what you'll have. A board that has a beautiful front cover. And then all I did was poke holes in it so that I can stick my floral wire through it. And then I added my bows to it. And here is what each bow set looked like that I completed for my cousin. And here's a snippet of what the bows look like on her Christmas tree. I just want to thank everyone for taking time out of their day to watch me create, and I can't wait to create with you guys again. Bye!